Have a go at that view, will you? That little speck you can just see off in the distance there, that's the town of Lithgow. Now look, the purpose of our trip up here is twofold. Firstly, we are on the lookout for the best secret campsite 2 hours out of Sydney. But to get there, we're also, and this is the second part of our journey, looking for the single hardest, most challenging stretch of terrain that we can find to take us to that secret campsite. Now, the way we're going to do this is we've all done a bit of research before we've left home, and we've all picked a section of track. I've got mine, it's an absolute cracker, the boys are going to love it. And knowing the boys, they've also picked something equally as enjoyable. Now look, check out the views here, check out this place, check out the terrain. I am absolutely amped, if you can't tell. I'm going to get down off this rock, I'm going to start Shorty up, and I'm going to get stuck into this.
We're blowing the dust off the archives and bringing long-lost full drive action DVDs to YouTube for free for the very first time. In this adventure, the boys and I go and hit the hardest tracks that we can find in a long weekend out of Sydney. I even take them to my all-time favourite local campground. There's massive bogholes, there's wheel lifts, there's huge gnarly hill climbs. What more could you ask for? And make sure you keep an eye out for the cheeky discount codes we put right throughout this video, because they'll help you save serious coin on the gear you need for your own adventure. And of course, if you like this sort of stuff, then hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, because we've got a bucket load of these old episodes of 4Drive Action we'll be releasing for free right here on the 4Drive Supacentre channel. But for now, grab some popcorn, grab a coldie, kick back and enjoy our guide to Lithgow's toughest tracks.
Mate, you'd be pretty familiar with this part of the world, wouldn't you? This Lithgow region, you come up into Nunes and places like this a lot with the editorial team, don't you?
Yeah, the boys and I are up here pretty much every weekend. It's an absolute pearl of a spot, and it's what, hour and a half, 2 hours from home.
Yeah, no, well, for you, it's quite a long way for me, mate. Lithgow sits right on the western edge of the Blue Mountains, and at only 2 hours from Sydney, it's not long until we're going to hit our first challenge, and this is my pick for the trip. It's called the Pipeline Track, and it's an absolute cracker. Listen, to be honest, it's been a number of years since I've done this track, but last time I did it, it was an absolute ball terror, so I'm looking forward to giving it another crack, mate. The Pipeline Track is just a couple of k's out of Lithgow, just off the Glowworm Road. It gets its name from the old pipes that can be seen laid down along the track, and of course, they just add to the obstacles. The terrain on this track has changed drastically since I last did it a couple of years ago. Let's just say, it's got a whole heap harder. The best way to describe the Pipeline Track is a channel running through the bush, and there's two main sections you've got to conquer. Gets a bit interesting up here, boys. We might have to, well, we'll give it a go, but we might have to do some packing up here. Tricky little section, this one. Not the sort of place you take, crikey, a stock standard vehicle with you. This really is a track that's perfectly suited to a short wheelbase vehicle. Short, sharp rock steps, gullies, articulation areas, and of course, with a shorty, you're straight into it and out of it before the back knows what's happened. Get that into you, boys! Brenno in the V8. Come on, mate, show us what you got. You can really see how the longer wheelbase vehicles do it a little tougher than old shorty in the short wheelbase vehicle, and this really is the type of terrain where a shorty reigns supreme. I think by now you can really tell why I picked this as my challenge. The Pipeline Track was built for my truck. Absolutely love it out here. And fun, well, this track has got it in bucketfuls. As I said earlier, the Pipeline Track has two main sections. You've seen the first, now welcome to the second. Look at this is just a rutted out mess. This second section really is about picking your line, dependent upon your particular vehicle. Now, Shorty doesn't have the most flex in the world, and of course, with only 33s on, I don't want to fall into some of those ruts. So by picking my line and staying high, I'm going to try and avoid getting hung up. Well, I'm going to talk it up, boys. I just chose the perfect line through there. Have a crack at it. Brenno, always fun to watch, even better to listen to. God, I love the sound of that truck. With my challenge out of the way, we're making our way out toward an awesome natural wonder. It's called the Lost City. It's actually an amazing formation of rocks that really have to be seen to be believed. Bit of a poghole through here, lads. Oh, it's through. There's no way around it, I'm going in. Yep, looks like we're going to have to get the trucks wet. Yeah, I love this. Where you find one bog hole, chances are there's going to be more. And that's exactly the case right here. Looks like we are in for some fun. Oh, this looks terrible.
That looks festy.
I am, hang on, I've got a secret weapon. Have a go at this mud hole here, will you? I tell you what, I didn't expect it to be as tough as this. A bit of forward and backwards. I was not going to be beaten. Just when it looks like I'm going to have to break out the winch, I'm not giving up. I just keep on fighting. Get that into you, boys!
Shorty!
We were all a little bit concerned about Brenno in the petrol V8, but he's made that look easy. Nice work, mate. This section of track has got even more bog holes, but everyone's got a bit of a choice here, and as you can see, I've taken the nastiest one I can find. Why? Because I can. All right, I've got a hitch on the back of mine, mate. I'll come and do it. Do you want to give us a hand, Brenno?
Yeah, copy mate, I'll be over.
Yeah, this is a pretty common sort of a snatch recovery. You've got one vehicle, that being mine, on dry land, and of course you've got the vehicle that's stuck in the bog hole. The key thing to remember when doing a snatch recovery like this is that there's absolutely no need for the vehicle doing the recovery to take off at a rate of knots. Okay, clear, snatching. Good driving, guys. Now it's back to getting to where we're going. Where we're going is the Lost City. And this light coming through these trees, now that it's been stripped, is really different. You probably won't get this light again when everything grows back. So we're going to hightail it down there right now, and you all know me. Bit of a puddle here, hang on. You all know me. As soon as I get down there, I'm going to have a crack at that with the old camera. Look at that light, just superb. The Lost City is one of the true wonders of the Blue Mountains. It's formed by sheets of ironstone, which is actually sandwiched between layers of softer sandstone. Now, the formations have weathered, so they look like a series of, well, I reckon they look like beehives. The sandstone was laid down by a massive river delta that flowed across the area about 230 to 250 million years ago. Yeah, they've been here a while. What a great place to take some pics and admire old Mother Nature. Yeah, that looks cool. Look, I just wanted to share something with you. It's a bit of a way of thinking rather than a photography tip. You might have noticed over the last few DVDs I've been carrying around this little tiny camera with me, and you might be thinking, well, where's his professional stuff? Where's that great big camera that he always has with him when he's out doing photo shoots of trucks and of landscapes and things like that? Well, listen, there's a way of thinking about photography, especially if you're new to photography, and that is that the easier you make it for yourself, the more you're going to do it. So this little camera here for me does absolutely everything I need. So when I'm out on DVDs like this, I take it with me. What does that mean? I take it with me, I use it. If I use it, I'm practicing. If I'm practicing, I'm getting better. So when it comes to buying a new camera, have a really good think about whether you're the sort of person that's going to carry a dozen lenses, 6 bodies with you, change the lenses, put flashes on, take them off, or are you the sort of person that's just going to grab the camera you've got with you and take photos? Because I guarantee the more photos you take with any camera, the better you're going to get. So folks, make it easier on yourself. Maybe just grab yourself something small like I've got here, get out and practice it. What do you reckon? Grab a few more shots? Cool, man.
The legendary Adventurekings Big Daddy Deluxe Double Swag is Australia's favourite swag by a country mile. Now let's take a closer look at what makes it such an incredible way to go camping. If you hate the idea of claustrophobic swags, then you'll love the Big Daddy Deluxe. It measures in at a whopping 2150mm long by 1550mm wide by 1 metre high. That means there's plenty of room for 2 adults and even the littlies. We're all about making camping more comfortable for everybody, which is why we've added this 70mm thick high density foam mattress. That means you'll have an amazing night's sleep wherever you go camping. And if the weather isn't playing ball, then no sweat. The Big Daddy Deluxe has got you covered. It starts with ultra high quality 400 GSM polycotton ripstop canvas, which is 100% waterproof and double stitched on all the seams for durability. One of my favourite parts about this entire swag is the fact that if it gets too hot outside, all you need to do is roll up each side of the canvas doors, leave the midget-proof mesh down, that way you let the breeze in but keep the bugs out. And these large storm flaps at either end are the perfect way to allow airflow at your head and your feet too. When it's cold, zip the head, foot and side canvas doors up and the Big Daddy Deluxe will stay up to 10 degrees warmer than outside temperatures, making for a toasty night's sleep when you want it. And the large PVC bucket floor, which extends up 100mm from the ground on all four sides, keeps your swag dry even if there's moisture on the ground. Including with every Big Daddy Deluxe is a full set of poles, pegs and ropes, which gives the swag its clever freestanding design. Once you've spent your first night in Australia's favourite and best-selling swag, you'll wonder how you ever went camping without it. Forget building your own set of storage drawers or paying well over $1,000 for a set elsewhere, and get your hands on a set of incredibly tough and unbeatable value for money Titan storage drawers. Our entire range of Titan storage drawers have been built to handle just about anything you can throw at them. All models of Titan double drawers come with an included built-in fridge slide on the left-hand side, saving you up to $200 compared to some other brands that charge extra for a fridge slide. Each drawer top also has these heavy-duty spring-loaded tie-down points to secure your gear on even the most corrugated roads. We've put them through their paces like none other. We've jumped on them, overloaded them with bricks, chucked an engine on the drawers at full extension, absolutely flooded them and used them off-road year after year to prove just how tough they are. The Titan 900 single drawer is perfect for those who have limited space to install a storage drawer. It has internal dimensions of 430mm wide, 790mm long and 190mm deep. The Titan 900 double drawer setup is ideal for smaller wagons like Prados, Pajeros and SUVs, with the internal dimensions identical to the 900 single drawer on each side. The Titan 1300 Ute drawers are made specifically for vans and utes. The internal dimensions are 1200mm long, 430mm wide and 150mm high. The 1300mm single drawers are also a cracking addition to the back of vans and utes. The internal dimensions are the same as the double 1300 drawers, but have an extra 40mm of depth, making them 190mm deep. And finally, for the bigger wagons like Land Cruisers and Patrols, the double 1070 storage drawers have internal dimensions of 880mm long, 470mm wide, and 180mm of depth. They come 95% pre-assembled, and all you need to install them is a couple of basic hand tools and a couple of hours on a lazy Sunday arvo. You can also add optional wing kits, both model specific and DIY, so you can finish off the back of your four-wheel drive and have plenty of storage available for your next adventure. Take your setup to the next level with the incredibly tough and unbeatable value for money Titan storage drawers. This is the toughest aluminium rooftop tent we have ever built, the brand new Adventurekings Grand Tourer Mark III. We've gone back to the drawing board and listened to your valuable feedback. Our in-house engineers have completely redesigned our most incredible rooftop tent and made it better and stronger than ever before. And let me tell you guys, this thing has been engineered for the extremes. First up, we've integrated an all-new extruded aluminium frame and an incredibly tough aluminium honeycomb sandwich panel, which is integrated into both the base of the rooftop tent and the ceiling. Utilising this manufacturing process has allowed us to drastically increase the structural integrity of the Grand Tourer Mark III. Not to mention the fact that we were also able to make the overall dimensions incredibly compact for a modern, slimline design. The new extruded aluminium frame is 100% custom designed by our engineers and has allowed us to utilise built-in accessory channels for added strength, durability and ease of installation of awning brackets, instant en-suites, optional crossbar kits and much more. And that new aluminium honeycomb sandwich panel is super lightweight, but has an insane amount of strength and flex. So if you're crawling up low range tracks, hitting ridiculously corrugated roads, or going for a beach run, you can be sure that this thing will stand the test of time no matter what you get up to. Not to mention the fact that this incredible honeycomb sandwich panel doubles as insulation, so you can stay cozy warm in winter and nice and cool in summer. And as you can see along the edges here, we've incorporated an incredibly tough automotive grade rubber pinch weld seal So as you can see, I've got 2 sample plates of the extrusion here to show you guys how it all works. The rubber pinch weld actually sits inside of this groove of the extrusion here. And as the rooftop tent closes, it seals the entire unit together. And this right here is the 3rd layer of protection. So no water or dust could ever get past this point. Now, every single joint on the Grand Tourer Mark III has been sealed with a polyurethane automotive grade sealant, which makes it impervious to water and dust ingress. So no matter what you get up to on your weekends, it'll stay watertight and dustproof. The newly upgraded heavy-duty gas struts are rated at a thumping 550 newtons each, meaning you can easily open the rooftop tent even with a bit of gear on top. Plus, they're 316 marine-grade stainless steel, giving them incredible corrosion resistance, a must if you camp on the beach or live near the coast. And for an added bit of safety while the rooftop tent is fully set up, you get this included heavy-duty telescopic lockout pole, which slots into these 2 points here to make sure that the rooftop tent stays taut no matter what the weather is doing. We've even gone the extra mile and made the nuts and bolts in the included DIY fitting kit out of high-quality 316 marine-grade stainless steel, so you'll never have to worry about rust or corrosion. The included Grand Tourer Mark III awning poles are now double the thickness, and they slot into this heavy-duty retainer which sits inside the extrusion for an incredible amount of strength. These new awning poles have been specifically designed to be able to flex in strong winds, which will take pressure off the awning fabric and reduce excess flapping. Well, there's simply no doubt about it. The Adventurekings Grand Tourer Mark III is built for the extremes. So no matter what you get up to or what the weather has in store, this beast of a rooftop tent will stand the test of time and get you camping better than ever before.
It's a beautiful, crisp morning here just outside Lithgow. This looks very high country up here, don't it? Like really quite alpine. I'm guessing we're going to have to come back out of this at some stage, crawling down.
This is about as easy as the track's going to get all day.
We've got a bit of a hill climb coming up here, which suggests to me we're heading off to our next challenge. I mean, we've already done mine, which is the pipeline track. I love that track. It's just so much fun. It's really technical. It's quite gnarly as well, but just a lot of fun to do. So now, judging by the terrain out here, I don't think it's going to get any easier. Alright, we've got a bit of a rocky climb here by the look of it. Gentle on the old accelerator. Let Shorty do all the work. It's going to get bouncy through here, I think.
Hey, this is still one of the easier bits, boys. And up comes the forerunner.
Good work, Brenno.
Alright, this is really quite a hill. I'm going to have to concentrate with everything I've got here to get up this. This is one of those hills that you've got to put all your teachings into practice. In my head, I'm replaying the line that I've picked on foot, and I've guided Shorty through that pretty much spot on, and that drive went exactly as planned. That's awesome. Woo, that was a moment. Rod and Brenno have picked much the same line right up the guts of the track, and the main reason being neither one of them were too keen on turning on that side slope. I can understand that, it's a pretty sketchy thing to do. I, however, wasn't too keen on the rock steps the boys are going to tackle. Woohoo! Look, if you live in or around the city of Sydney and own a modified four-wheel drive, whether it's a Tourer or something a bit tougher, chances are you've paid a visit to the chilly little town of Lithgow at some point. With good reason too. It's got all the amenities you could want, has secluded campsites, and it offers a staggering variety of off-road choices. I rate this area pretty highly in four-wheel driving terms. During the dry weather, all the tracks we did would require good ground clearance and low range. In the wet, however, that would become a whole other ballgame. Wait till you see this little drop off down here, boys. She's a doozy. I'm going to drop off the edge. Wish me luck. As you can see, I'm just throttling my handbrake here. In the old Shorty, it's a trick I've learnt just to keep me squatting down. Keeps the rear under control a bit better. Works for me, might not work for all trucks. Works for me though. Put my handbrake on. Just really controls my descent. It's almost like a redneck hill descent control. Woohoo! Hard like to get it just right. You want to get it just feathering. I think I've got now. See, just rolling down nicely. Yeah, that angle is wicked, boys. Wait till you get that into you. Some of you might recognise this little descent here. Yeah, that's right. We actually drove up this the last time I was out in Mount Walker region. And of course, for Brenno, it's a no-brainer. He's straight into it. Loves this stuff. Nice drive, mate.
We're close to the bank. There is not much room there, eh?
Yeah, horrible angle.
It's close. Yeah.
It's a good drive, man. Well done.
Thank you.
Ooh, you boys got a copy back there?
Good.
Yeah, there's a bit of a mud puddle here. I'm going to put my windows up and get into it. But I reckon it's a bit of soakies from Lake Lyle on the left-hand side, boys. Crikey. Yeah, it's a bit boggy in here. I'm going to give it another go, boys. The plan from here is to head to camp on the bank of the Cox's River. Now look, this is a location that we've been given the heads up by a local by the name of Rob. He tells us it's an absolute cracker of a spot. But to get there, we've got to get around Lake Lyle first, and these mud puddles are right on the edge. Get a load of this spot, will you? This is where we're going to be camping tonight. I only really know it because someone told me about it and I've marked it on my HEMA to wheel me way down here, but how utterly attractive is this?
Absolute pearler. Hey, is that a platypus down there in the water?
Platypus?
Yeah, look at that down there. Check it out.
Now, I was a little bit sceptical that it was a platypus. I hadn't actually seen it. So I asked the camera guys if we could review the footage. It's not a platypus. It's actually a native water rat. These little dudes are super cool. They've actually got webbed feet at the rear to help them swim. If you ever get a chance to see one in the wild, go and have a look because it is nothing like the rat that you get in your household. Have a look at this camp, will you? How good is it? It's got 270-degree river frontage. What a cracker. It's situated right here on a bend in the Cox's River before it enters Lake Lyle. This is a stunning, stunning spot. Despite being a freezing cold evening, surrounded by water here with the sound of the river, the sound of the creatures in the river and a great big fire going, really, this is life at its best. Some of those hills today, I don't mind saying, had the old heart going. What are you rating the single best challenge as thus far? It has to be pipeline track, really, doesn't it?
Well, I can honestly say that the pipeline has actually done the most amount of damage on mine, so
Yeah.
I'd have to put it up there.
Do you notice how the pipeline track was perfectly suited to a short wheelbase vehicle?
Yeah.
Absolutely no coincidence there, lads. Well, I've just about got potato RSI. How are we going?
Yeah, you got this to go yet?
That's all right, I can do the pumpkin. 2.5 hours out of Sydney, lads. And I'm cutting a pumpkin with no one else around except you jokers. That's not bad. Coming from WA, where this is pretty common for us, you don't have the population you guys do, to only be 2.5 hours out of Sydney and not have anyone down here in this campsite, which is a cracking campsite, pretty unheard of, isn't it? I've been doing all the work. Brenno, can you do me a favour, mate? Can you fill that pot up with water so I can get this thing on the boil? And I've got some lamb steaks for the tea tonight as well, so we'll get those on ASAP, eh? Well, that is perfect, Brenno.
Yeah. Right, they all feel.
They say that food always tastes a lot better when you're cooking out in the bush, but I reckon when you're cooking food like that, you could have that pretty much anywhere. It's going to taste good. How is it, boys?
Oh,
Yeah? All right.
Introducing the insane new Adventurekings 9-inch lethal LED driving lights. These things have an amazing combination of both spot and flood light. They have 21,840 lab-proven effective lumens per pair. That's over 2,000 more than the previous generation. Plus, they have huge light distance performance with 1 lux at over 1.3 kilometers. These are the LED driving lights that other lights wish they were.
You asked and we listened.
You said you wanted even more flood of light out of your LED driving lights to light up the sides of the road, the highway, and the tracks. We went back to the drawing board to redesign the lethal LED driving lights to produce exactly that. At the same time, we upgraded the lights to the ridiculously tough King's Laser Light die-cast aluminium housings and 3mm folded steel mounts. So not only are these some of the brightest LED driving lights we've ever sold, but they're also the toughest. How bright? Try a lab-proven 21,840 lumens per pair and one lux of 1,342 meters. That's real-world lumens too, not the theoretical lumens that some lights claim they produce. That's thanks to the genuine German-designed Osram LEDs for simply unparalleled light performance. We've also re-engineered the lethal lights with a new 5,185 Kelvin color temperature. That means they're just a little bit more on the softer, warmer side. Still a clear, crisp white light, but that little bit easier on the eyes when driving long distances. And of course, you get all the features and quality you'd expect from Adventurekings driving lights, like polycarbonate lenses, the same stuff riot shields and fighter jet canopies are made of, and an IP68 water and dustproof rating, meaning these lights are waterproof to a depth of 1 meter for an hour. Plus, for the first time ever, they're rated to IP69K. That means they can withstand high pressure jets of hot water. That tough die-cast alloy housing features passive cooling fins and a waterproof breather for longevity, and they have the ability to run on both 12 and 24 volt, meaning they're suitable for everything from cars and four-wheel drives to trucks and machinery. Including the brackets, they measure 250mm high, 230mm wide, and 115mm deep. They have an attachment system that uses two 8mm bolts on either side to positively lock them in place and prevent them from falling out of alignment. And of course, they use the same plug as all previous Adventurekings lights, which makes them an easy 10-minute upgrade. Just unplug your old lights, bolt the new ones on, plug them in, and you're ready to go. Add in a 2-year warranty and you've got a simply incredible set of lights that leave the competition looking a little underwhelming. The Adventurekings 9-inch lethal LED driving lights are the best value LED driving lights on the market. We've re-engineered them to be incredibly tough and incredibly bright. They'll turn night into day, and they're on sale right now for a price you have to see to believe.
Introducing the incredible Adventurekings Premium Camp Oven Stove, your new best mate for delicious barbecue or campfire cooking and warm, cozy fires whether you're at home in your backyard or at your favourite campsite. Let me show you all the things that I absolutely love about it, and I'm sure you're going to love too. This amazing bit of gear has been designed right here in Australia, and it combines a camping stove and a portable barbecue into one. It can run off multiple fuel sources: wood, heat beads, charcoal, briquettes, and more. When it's time to cook up a feast, you can fit 2 large pots or pans on this huge flat cooktop surface that measures in at 520mm long by 300mm wide. That's enough space to cook up a feast for the entire family. And because it runs on wood or heat beads, you can leave the gas bottle behind, one less thing to pack. And when you want a beautiful roaring campfire, use the included hook tool to simply lift the 2-piece lid off completely and just add in some more firewood. The raised and closed design means you won't risk scorching your grass, your deck, or even your driveway. And you'll be able to use it for a beautiful warm fire at campsites that don't allow open ground fires. Plus, your fire would last longer because you're closer to the heat. Now that's cozy. The enclosed design means it's super efficient, and you can make the most of your fuel by directing the heat exactly where you want it. You can even adjust the temperature of your fire by varying the airflow. With these sliding vents on the side, a 2-piece removable lid on top, and an adjustable flue, you're always in control. Remove the entire lid for an open fire, or just this circular inner piece if you need extra heat for cooking, like searing steaks to finish them off. And this up here, now that is a real game changer. A chimney that extends over 2.4 meters off the ground to direct smoke away from your campsite for smoke-free campfires. You can even position the premium camp oven stove under your awning, your gazebo, or your shed for maximum warmth. And the angular offset chimney piece allows smoke to funnel away rather than getting trapped underneath. There's even a spark arrestor on top for good measure. There are so many more things to absolutely love about the King's Premium Camp Oven Stove. It's been designed to be super sturdy with these 4 large legs that extend the footprint a foot wider in both directions for excellent stability. The legs simply screw into the bottom like this, and you can remove the middle piece for a lower fire. This huge access door swings open with the included hook tool to allow you to easily refill the premium camp oven stove as required. Inside, you've got this fuel rack that keeps your wood or your charcoal up off the floor, maximising airflow and preventing wasted heat. It's a breeze to transport, set up and pack down too, with no tools required. Each of the 4 two-piece legs simply screw together and the chimney pieces pack into each other, with everything fitting into the main body of the premium camp oven stove for simple transport. Make sure you don't miss the incredible genuine cooking accessories available too, like a proper wood-fired meat smoker and a clever barbecue hot plate set to really take your camp cooking to the next level. And a stainless steel water boiler too. Whether I'm at home in my backyard or out camping with family, my mates, or even by myself, I absolutely love my Adventurekings premium camp oven stove. It's a portable fire pit, it's a wood or charcoal barbecue, and it's the centerpiece of every backyard get-together or camping adventure, and I know you're gonna love yours too.
The Adventurekings 200-watt folding solar blanket kit with an MPPT regulator is capable of putting out up to 16.3 amps. It's perfect to keep your batteries charged all year round and doesn't take up too much of your precious space. First, you've got 200 watts of power that folds into this compact solar blanket. Externally, it features a carry handle and a pocket to store all the included extras, and the whole thing is protected by tough polyester weaved material. Inside, you've got the included MPPT solar regulator, a 4.4 meter extension lead, and a pair of alligator clips. These all join together easily with the quick connect plugs, so they allow you to plug directly into your battery box or onto battery terminals. Fold out the blanket and there are 6 monocrystalline panels made up of the latest Class A solar cells with 5 busbar technology to ensure excellent power output even under tough conditions. Within a minute, you can have your Adventurekings solar blanket set up, plugged together and charging your battery, with the extra efficiency boost of an MPPT regulator. The regulator has LED indicator lights so you know that it's charging, plus there's a USB port to charge your devices. With stitched in loops, you can hang your blanket just about anywhere with a couple of S-hooks or cable ties, or position it directly on your windscreen or roof rack, or even flat on the ground. With up to 16.3 amps from this compact package, the Adventurekings 200-watt folding solar blanket kit with MPPT regulator is the perfect choice to keep your batteries charged all year round.
Despite spending at least 6 months of the year waking up in canvas, I never tire of mornings like this. Mist on the water, nice and chilly. Really, this is what I live for. The only thing that would make a morning like this any better is breakfast.
Well, you got one? Yeah, got one. And then
Before hitting the tracks today, I've just got to change my front right for my spare because I've got a slow leak in the bead. I'll fix it later once I've got more time.
Did you see that?
This is one of those challenges where there is something for everybody. If you've got a pretty stock vehicle, there's a line for you. There's a line for us, and of course, there's also a couple of lines here for comp trucks. It's got everything you'd ever want. Come on up, boys. Something tells me Brenno's done that line probably 200 times in his life. Something tells me he's not going to take that. If nothing else, we all get to hear the big V8 roar.
Might need a winch out of this one, blokes.
I didn't think you'd make it, mate, but it was a good effort. Yeah, this stump's a bit of a doozy. It's one of those ones you'd have to look at a couple of times, but what I'm looking at here, more than anything else, great big main tree root that's coming down and pointing to Brenno, so it's acting like a bit of a lever. We're also putting it down quite low, and Brenno's way below the surface level of this stump, so even though it looks burnt out and gnarly, I reckon this stump's still got plenty of purchase.
It's got a couple more cars worth in it.
Plenty of purchase, yeah. Brenno only needed to use the winch for a car, maybe half a car's length, and he was up over that little rise and back into it.
Mate, I just didn't see which way you went. Did you take the left or the right line?
Yeah, just straight on up, mate. No big deal, do it, just straight on up. What we didn't realise, and of course what Brenno didn't realise either, is that we were talking about completely different things.
Pretty easy. This is like a doozy of a rock step, blokes.
Nah, it's only one wheel, mate. Oh, yeah, it was only really one wheel for me.
Rightio, one wheel in the air or one on the ground, you mean?
I lifted a wheel on it. I think I lifted the front left, but that was about it. One thing Brenno is not shy of is having a crack. How he ever thought he was going to drive up that is beyond me, but gee whiz, it's entertaining. Screw, that doesn't sound right.
He's having trouble with that one wheel. Something's wrong.
Jeez, there's not much traction there, blokes.
We went over there!
Oh, you rat bag!
With lunch fast approaching, this was a time of day I had been looking forward to. Time to crack out the roast. There is nothing like roast beef rolls on the track at midday. Just going to give you a look at that.
No, go for it.
That is a freshly cooked roast beef roll here in an absolutely stunning setting. Don't know about you folks at home. You've heard me say it before, I'm going to say it again right now because I think it fits. This, boys, is as good as it gets. Well, with full bellies and the energy to tackle Brenno's challenge for the trip, it is one that simply cannot be overlooked at this way.
Well, Graham, this one here, mate, this is my challenge. This, I reckon, has got to be one of the toughest tracks anywhere out here, buddy. This is the legendary Trick Point, tracked at the top of Mount Walker.
Mate, from memory, I've done this once before. This is not even hardly the start of it, is it? This is like just the first little bit.
Yeah, pretty much, mate. It might not have been as tough as when you did it a couple of years ago.
Mate, I reckon we should jump out and have a look at this. What do you say?
Sounds good.
So I reckon you should take that hole there, that one there. Yeah. This is mental. There's no traction whatsoever.
What about this step up here? Brenno, my memory of this track, at the very top, I'm not talking about this bit, at the very, very top, it's super tight up there. You can only fit two cars, well, maybe even one car, two cars max. From memory.
So we're not going to get all four cars up there.
We're not going to get all four cars up. I've done it before.
Yeah.
I'm happy to help pack, do the donkey work.
Well, I'll have a go at driving it.
You want to have a go?
We can't here have a play on weekends. I'm pretty sure I remember the lines, so I'm even keen to probably go first. Throw me in as a guinea pig.
All right, let's do this. By doing the packing before you start driving, you're maximising your chances. If you were to drive up to the obstacle, stop and do the packing then, you've lost momentum. Your fitness is not what it used to be. How's yours, Brenno?
Yeah, terrible.
Terrible? I'm glad. I'm glad we're on the same page here, eh? Happy with that? All right, Brenno, here you go, mate. It's all you.
Rock and roll.
Offline, there it is.
Thought it was already done there. Righto. Let's do this.
Brenno got off to a pretty good start, but the big forerunner's just not behaving as it should. It seems to be cutting out, and this is not the place you want that to happen. Stop there, Brenno. Stop there, mate. Last thing you want, halfway up here. What Brenno's doing here, just missing ever so slightly, and so just double checking each of these plugs just to make sure A, the leads are on correctly, and B, we're just nipping them up, mate, just to make sure the plugs are actually in there.
I'm just checking that they haven't been left loose or something.
Yeah.
Silly things have happened. I just had one.
Is that loose?
It was loose.
There you go. Righto, time for round two, and once again, Brenno's given it a bootful. No, stop there, Brenno, stop there, mate. Steering arm's gone, mate. But disaster strikes again. Get a load of that front left wheel. It looked to all of us like Brenno had busted a steering rod, which meant there was nothing else to do but carefully, slowly reverse back down the hill and check it out.
trust me to go and break something and bring the afternoon to a halt. But I'll tell you what, it's a beautiful afternoon. There's no way we're missing those views. So we're going to hike to the top of the hill on foot and take them in.
Well, how's this? We started with a view, we're finishing with a view, an absolute cracking one as well. That's Lithgow from the other side now. We started out to try and find 4 of the toughest tracks we could on one of the best campsites, and I've got to say, that campsite down there by the water was probably one of the single most scenic campsites I've stayed in anywhere, and that is a heck of a big call. As for the tracks, I'm going to call it right here and right now. The track to the tip of Mount Walker, where we are at this very present moment, has got to be one of the most challenging, technical, and insane tracks you will do in this entire area, folks. Listen, if you're ever in the Lithgow region, do yourself a favour, check out Mount Walker, all the tracks in between. Make sure you get up here, but bring the best sleeping bag you possibly have because it gets mighty chilly. Might catch you up here, or might not, but I'll definitely catch you next time on 4-wheel drive action.